This is what I don't like about this son of a bitch. And I his mother. He always says like, "Oh yeah, this guy is this and that and racist, and oh yeah, we need to save the community and dangerous and hate and I want to stay away." But this orangutan himself, he said to Fergus, he said nigger, he said this Jew and all this shit. Now all of a sudden, I am talking to not the main man's we. I'm talking to I don't know, Joe Biden man's we. I don't know what the happened to this dumbass one, but he is a fucking fag now. That's all I know.
Now, before this video starts, let me make something extremely clear to the people that are going to be watching or reacting to this video, the people that are not going to like this video. I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to pause it 100 times to try and justify your nonsense behavior. And what you're going to do, like you did last time, is bring on some black dude to justify your behavior. Now, I'm going to direct you to a character created by Dave Chappelle called Clayton Bisbee. Those are your friends. Those are the people that you're bringing up to justify your behavior. Nobody worth their salt believes anything that's coming out of your mouth. Of course, people are going to perceive you to be racist when you're doing these things, and any self-respecting black person is going to be able to see that. It doesn't matter how many times you bring somebody up to justify it. And I've heard them all before. Oh, they don't want me coming on their podcast. You are more than welcome. I would love to have you on. This video is going to have timestamps because there are going to be a lot of things I'm going to be breaking down and going through, and I know it's a long video, so if you want to skip around, they will be in the description below. But just remember, you guys are not as slick as you think you are. And once again, I'd like to remind you, as I've told you before, that this is bullying, this is harassment, and just because the people that you're doing it to have not cracked yet does not mean it's not. We have seen similar behavior in other gaming scenes, not just fighting games, where it has resulted in some serious and life-changing situations for people. And once again, just because the people that you are bullying right now and that you are harassing and that you are making AI slop of have not done something to themselves does not mean that it is okay. So I would encourage you to watch this entire video, but just understand that this is not even 5% of what we could get into. There's a very simple solution for this entire situation. Turn around, walk away, and leave people alone. And to anybody that says, "Oh, Michael, racism has always existed," thank you. Thank you for the history lesson, like I was not aware. If that is the conclusion you've drawn already, this video is not for you. You've got it figured out. Go about your day. Do your thing. I wish you the best. For the rest of us that understand what targeted harassment and bullying is, stick around for the whole video. There's a lot to go over here. So before I dive into this video, I want to make a couple of things very clear to anybody that comes to watch this video. And I mean anybody. I'm going to be speaking about a lot of different people in this. I am going to name drop. And I want to make something clear before we do that. At no point during my time on YouTube, or any time in the future for that matter, or any time ever actually, will I ever condone doxing. The people in this video, yes, they are saying some crazy things. They are bullying people, harassing people, making weird AI pictures of people on George Floyd's body. They're doing a lot of weird shit. However, as much as I might dislike them, I can't support doxing them. And I know this is something that has been happening recently. When you dox somebody, you're not just affecting that person. You're affecting their parents, their sisters, their brothers, even the family pets. We don't know who might show up to their address. There's a lot of crazy people on the internet. So as much as I might dislike people, and make no mistake, I heavily dislike the people that I'm going to talk about in this video, I cannot and will not ever support doxing them. It's not worth it. Human life is more precious than that, even if these guys are colossal pieces of shit. There's no need to bring someone's personal life into it, and there's certainly no need to drag people into it. You know, people have no idea that these things are happening online. This is between people in the Tekken community. Their parents have nothing to do with it. So I don't support the doxing stuff that I've been seeing online. I also want to make it clear as well that I don't think that we should be advocating for violence at any point. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to call people out. It doesn't mean I'm not going to take the piss out of you for being a dickhead. It doesn't mean that we're not going to get into arguments. But at no point do I think any of us should be pushing for violence. Now, I'm not stupid either. Like, I understand these people are saying crazy things online. I understand why you guys are getting bent out of shape. And I'm just going to say this openly because I did get a few messages from some people. Do not, at any point, I know these people might have upset you, but do not at any point target people in real life. It's not what the community should be about. Yes, these people are saying really racist things on Twitter. Yes, they are targeting people with AI images, but I don't think that we should stoop to their level. And I certainly don't think that any harm should come to anybody, because once you get to that level, you're opening the floodgates for all sorts of things, and we don't need to go down those roads. I also don't care about people's features, how they look. I don't care about their race, their religion, who they take to bed, or who they vote for. That's not what this video is about. This video is really to look at what I perceive to be bullying, harassment, weird ideologies, and an obsession with a particular content creator, which we'll get into in a little bit. So I just wanted to make that clear before the video starts, because the situation on Twitter does have the potentiality to, you know, get ugly, and I want to make my stance very clear on it. That being said, we are going to be talking about a few content creators in the Tekken community, namely Planted Medusa and Existzts. Now, there are some other people involved in this, but a lot of them are just faceless people that, you know, they're just burner accounts people seem to be making that are just being racist towards people. Those two are the two that I'm going to be mentioning the most. There will be other names mentioned, obviously, and screenshots being showed. And the reason that I'm throwing those two names out first is that there's a lot of people on Twitter that are like blocking people that are associated to these two. And I've got to say to those people as well, I think you're being a little bit unfair. Now, about 7, 8, maybe 9 months ago, I had no idea that these guys were as bad as they are. I had no idea. It might have even been a year now. I can't remember the exact timeline of events. I had no idea they behaved in that way. And if I don't have that knowledge, and I get invited to do a podcast, or even some of you have messaged me saying I've been blocked by so many people, I don't understand why. The reason they're blocking you is because they might have seen you speaking to these individuals. Now, I personally find that to be ridiculous. If you don't have context and you're just mashing a block button, that is really childish. But if you're one of those people that are looking at this situation going, why are people associated to this guy? Some people don't know. Some people genuinely have no idea what is going on. As a matter of fact, I had people messaging me saying I had no idea these guys were creating AI images of people on George Floyd's body. I had no idea these guys were saying homophobic, transphobic, and racist things to people. And I said, well, you can't be in 10 places at once. We don't all live our lives online. So we're going to be going over these screenshots now. I have tried to whittle this down as much as possible because these guys just spew so much nonsense that if I was to go through all of it, we would actually be here all day. I know I'm known for doing my long podcasts, but this is a video. I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. I don't know how long it's going to come out, but please bear with me. There's a lot of slop to get through here. Now, please make absolutely no mistake about this. These guys have been doing bullshit to people for well over a year now. It's on my computer. It's documented. We've been over it in a live stream, which was 9 hours long, and we didn't even get through half of it. So if you ever do want to see some of that, you can go over and watch that live stream. I know they like make fun of me for doing long live streams, but I don't know why they make fun of me for doing that, since people sit through all of them. The watch time on it is extremely high, and the only reason it was 9 hours long is because there's over 9 hours of content of you guys being racist. So I don't know where the joke is there, but whatever. But before we get into where this situation most recently started, and it is obviously starting on King J's post about Kazuya, because you know, if you talk shit about Kazuya, that is like the best way to get these hyenas to come out of hiding. Say something about Kazuya online, whatever it might be, and they will come out and they will go after you. But before we get there, I want to make a couple of distinctions to people about this whole racism topic. Now, there are people that make mistakes, and I've seen a lot of people online saying you don't make mistakes with racism, which I find to be bullshit. There's loads of ways to make mistakes with offending people when it comes to race. And there are people that do things that are wrong, that we all believe are wrong, but I believe they are allowed redemption. Now, a lot of the time people say they're not going to apologize until they're caught. That might be true, but as far as I'm concerned, if you do something wrong and you haven't hurt somebody and the gravity of your crimes are not astronomical, you make changes from that and then you move forward and there's no repeated offenses, I'll let it go. People on this planet for a very long time, I'm not going to hold one instance over somebody's head. I don't think that's fair, and I don't have the energy for that. If you don't agree, that's completely fine. I'm not here to police people on what to think. You guys do whatever you think's best. That's just how I see it. I know of loads of content creators, both in the fighting game community and outside of it, that have said things that people might perceive to be racist or offensive and not known. I literally spoke to somebody the other day who used the P word to describe Pakistani people, not knowing that it's offensive. And I said to him, is there any way you can say this without repeatedly saying that word? And he was like, what word? And I told him, and he was shell-shocked. He was like, how is that racist? And I was like, are you stupid or something? How do you not know? And he genuinely didn't know. So I just had to tell him, and we moved on from it. Now, because that's like a no-name person, and it's not a big like content creator, it didn't turn into anything. But I can only imagine what would have happened if that was a bigger content creator. So I think people are allowed to have redemption arcs. I don't think those people are the same as the people that I'm about to discuss. Now, the other distinction that I want to make, and Asmongold put this pretty perfectly, so actually I'll let him speak to you guys first first and I'll give you my stance on it.
Said the N-word? Everybody says the N-word. What are you talking about? Plenty of streamers, by the way, plenty of streamers that I know say the N-word off stream, okay? They do. Now, they don't necessarily use it all the time, but if they're going to refer to the word, they just say it. Of course. And yeah, duh. Of course, me. Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, it's this entire culture of like this performative, imaginary self-censorship is totally fucking fake. It's totally fake, and people are just making this up. Expose them. The majority of people, let me tell you this. The majority of streamers that I know use words that would get you banned on Twitch. The majority. Including me. All the time. Constantly. The only reason I don't say it on stream is because I get banned. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Nobody does. The only reason that people give a fuck is because companies do. They pretend to care because they don't want to lose money. That's the reason.
If people are talking in private and DMs leak and it's just people using slurs amongst their friends, I'm not going to sit there getting bent out of shape about it. We all know that when friends get together, they say crazy shit to each other because there's a rapport there. And by extension, people say stuff in their communities all the time. If I really wanted to make this about people saying racist slurs, then I would literally have a dedicated channel to it because it's the gaming community and people have been doing that since the dawn of time. I mean, look at Call of Duty. I'm not going to make videos about the Call of Duty times or on COD 4 in the lobbies because those were anonymous people saying crazy shit to each other, and for the most part everyone was laughing. It wasn't targeted harassment, which is what we are going to be talking about today.
Does she feel it up her toes? I'm a real young.
Bruh.
You're not even mature yet!
You're 0-6, nigga! You crying like a bitch! Get a kill, cryback ass nigga!
Are you on drugs?
Your mama on drugs! Cause you had your dumb ass, weak ass
Are you
nigga!
on cocaine?
Your daddy should have pulled out, nigga!
At least I don't smoke weed!
Your mama gonna beat your ass, fool. You better stop yelling.
Oh, you! What? Okay.
Yeah, shut your bitch ass up before he beat your ass.
What the shut the
Your mama finna beat the fuck out you. She on the way with the belt now, bitch ass. Boy. Your mom said she finna beat the white off your bitch ass.
Are you racist? You're racist.
How is he racist?
Dollar sign head ass nigga.
You say that. You say too much.
You way at the bottom, fool. You way at the bottom. You're at the bottom, fool. You're not shit.
It's very different for you to be sitting around using words that people might feel offensive with your friends or just talking in general and going after somebody and using that language, because we know why you're using that language. You're using that language to try and upset them. Now, luckily, the people that we're going to be speaking about this, the people that have been, well, the person in particular that's been targeted by these people for well over a year now, has a backbone. So as much as they might think that they're getting to him with the AI images, they're just making themselves look stupid. But there's a distinction there. COD lobbies, I don't care about that. Friends talking amongst each other, Discords, and I've seen your Discords. I know they're crazy. You post some really wild shit in there, but for the most part, I don't have much to say on it. It's a waste of time. People are always going to do it. I'm not offended by it, but I don't like bullying either. And I do find it funny that whenever these guys have to insult you, it's always about your skin color. It's always about your skin color. It's not just like insults that people usually have. They always go to that and then they wonder why people perceive them to be racist. If that's your go-to all the time, then obviously people are going to see you that way. So initially this all started with King J's upload of Kazuya.
Kind of not dash block in this game, man. Fuck. Oh my. Ow. Can we take this out of the game, please? Like, how long is it gonna take you to take this out of the game? I just don't understand why he has this. It's stupid.
Now, regardless of what you think about Tekken 8 balancing, regardless of what you think about King J's takes on Tekken, it really doesn't matter because it's a game. It's just a video game. You're not actually Kazuya, and I can see that a lot of you actually think that you're Kazuya. You're not a Mishima. You ain't got the devil gene. People can make assessments of Kazuya without you getting upset about it. So that video went up, and the usual suspects show up to it. Now, what I don't understand is that King J's had problems with these guys for well over a year now. And the way I see it, and what I've heard from Planter Medusa himself, is that he's said multiple times, we're just over here minding our business and people always start on us, which is a load of bullshit, which we'll see in a moment. The only time you hear about these guys is when there's some sort of controversy going on and it's to do with race. Always the same thing. If they're not attacking black people, they have something to say about Jewish people. Everything to them seems to be connected to Jewish people. Even this video, they're going to think that I was put up to it by Mossad. So Judge Rect comes to the video and he posts a clip of Leroy, which didn't even make any sense because we weren't talking about Leroy, and he puts clown emojis there. Now, I spoke to Judge Rector very briefly and I said to him that you know what is going to happen on Twitter given Jay's history with the people that you know. They're going to show up to this post, and lo and behold, Planter Medusa shows up laughing. He laughs at the post. Again, there's no connection to Leroy here. We're talking about one isolated character. There's a lot of whataboutism in the Tekken community. That's really, really weird when the whole game needs a nerf, but whatever. And the thing is that they'll say, well, can't we interact with the post? It's on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And which is a very like straw man argument for this, because Planter Medusa did not come to interact with the post to tell Jay why he's wrong, to offer some pushback as a Kazuya main, as somebody that knows the character well. He came there looking for an argument. He came there to incite some shit. And that's exactly what he did, because instead of telling King Jay why he's wrong, instead of telling King Jay why as a Kazuya main, why Kazuya having this is a good thing, he posts, don't listen to King Jay on anything regarding Tekken, thank you. Now, in a vacuum, if you're unaware of this situation, that might seem like nothing. But Planter Medusa and his friends have been trying to discredit Jay for a long time. There's other accusations they throw at him, baseless accusations, which we're going to get into in a little bit. I'm sure you guys have heard them saying it multiple times on their stream about view botting. We're going to get into that in a little bit as well, because I've had those same accusations levied against me, which obviously were bullshit. It's very easy to fact check these things. Funny that they keep on saying it, but they provide no proof whatsoever, but we'll get there in just a moment. So a guy that hates Jay and is over here doing his own thing shows up to Jay's post to make that comment, not to offer anything constructive to start a fight, and so a fight has now started. He follows that up by saying, don't say N-word and stuff like this, boys. Keep it with arguments unless they start to insult. Then let hell break loose. Thank you regarding this matter. I do like how he's tried to play it off there like he tried to be diplomatic. Then let hell break loose. We know what hell looks like to these guys, okay? Hell is filled with pictures of gorillas and pictures of bananas, okay? All they know is racism, and that's all that they do. Comes to the post, discredits Jay and says nobody listened to him. As a Tekken content creator, I don't need to explain to you why that would make another Tekken content creator angry instead of just offering actual constructive pushback, and then says if they insult us, then let hell loose. I know you think you're smart, bro, but this was stupid. Anybody worth their salt knew what you were trying to do there. You've been trying to get a rise out of Jay for some time now. We can see what you're doing on Twitter. We've seen you say his name multiple times, and we see the obsession with him in your Discord, but again, we'll get there. Now, this is where Existzts comes into the situation. So, Immortal Soul rightfully points out to Judge Rect why comparing Leroy and Kazuya was silly. Now, admittedly, Immortal Soul did say that Kazuya mains are brain damaged. Now that is an insult, 100%. That's an insult. Existzts replies saying, do not take any takes of this person about Kazuya seriously, thank you. So in this instance, bar for bar, I'm not too mad at it because Immortal Soul starts off with an insult. To be fair to the situation, that's fine. Existzts then follows up saying these idiots are always on an agenda because they don't like us and we play this character. Their characters are 10 times more broken and brain dead with 10 times more dumber tools. Now this is where I started to laugh, and this is how I know that all these guys do is Tekken. There's nothing outside of this for Tekken. Somebody making a comment about Kazuya, this guy took it personally and thought there was an agenda against him. I guarantee you, when Jay made that post, and when I make posts about Kazuya or whoever it might be, I'm not thinking about these guys. I can guarantee you. I didn't even know this guy played Kazuya until this whole thing kicked off. I know Medusa did. I think your ego might be a little bit inflated though. Now, once again, Immortal Soul did respond to this saying, shut the fuck up, bitch. So insults have started now. Fair play. And Existzts replies with, caught in your feelings, you inbred N-word. Now you might say, well, Michael, they insulted him first, so there's no rules in engagement. And I would say to you, that's true. There are no rules in engagement. However, how you engage, I can't assess what kind of person you are. And it's just weird to me how this guy always goes to race. All of them always go to, it always goes to race. It's not shut up, bitch, or you don't know how to play Tekken or blah, blah, blah. It's always about race. Now, I'm not going to insult where they're from. I'm not going to insult their religion. I'm not going to insult their political leanings or who they decide to take to bed. That's all irrelevant. They even got into this thing where they started talking about each other's looks, which I found the whole situation was weird. I'm not here trying to look at another man's looks. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they think they're God's gift to humanity. I don't care if they think I look like a wet dog. Men talking about each other's looks in the fashion that I saw, I was a bit like, all right, boys, a little bit sus. Like, what team do we play for here? Immortal responds saying, finally muster up the courage to say N-word again. Nice. And Existzts says, I had no reason to, but if I get personally attacked by a monkey like you and called a Nazi, don't feel surprised for me to call you that. Now, the reason that Immortal Soul has called this individual that is because we have witnessed them constantly posting memes and pictures and quotes from that regime and people following up with based and base take, and these guys were cool. There's loads of terrible things that have happened around the world, and there's loads of scientific breakthroughs that have happened through war. I mean, do any of you know how we discovered how much water is in our body, or how much water human beings are made up of? If you don't know, look into it. It's pretty horrifying, but I wouldn't applaud those people for finding it out that way. And I just find the justifications for that regime kind of ridiculous. So the reason that you guys keep on getting called those names is because you keep on posting that shit. So I don't even know why you take it as an insult. That's what you guys post. Oh yes, because I called you a Nazi, you dumb F, and don't worry, I say it again for you since you get off on it. Okay, F slur, N slur. I don't understand. Anyway, he then says to him, keep seething, you mixed N-word mutts. Now they start posting pictures of each other. I don't know why I'm not even getting into that. That's not my shtick. Again, I don't care about what Existzts or Medusa looks like. That's not, I couldn't care less. Okay, it's about what people are saying for me. Fire screen grabs. Yes, with your dangling earrings and choker, you got it, man. Now, Immortal Soul is obviously taking the piss out of him there, but again, notice his religion, his race, whatever, none of that stuff has been brought into it. Existzts has the Galaxy response, and he says, you got some obsessed with fantasies, you mixed ugly COON. I don't even know if you can say that word on YouTube. Don't even know what a chain is. And then he posts a Photoshop picture of Immortal Soul on George Floyd. They have some weird obsession with George Floyd. I don't know if it's supposed to be offensive or not. I don't know. So while that beef is going on, there's another beef going on. And the Fury responds to this situation going, what is racist people's infatuation with George Floyd? Medusa responds with probably that he died of being a fentanyl junkie and the whole situation was a big psyop. He did not die of the police officer, he died of the fent. Furthermore, hurt a pregnant woman. That's why so many in the world make fun of him as being the face of Black Lives Matter. Oh, no wonder it's planted Medusa, the face of every racist Kazuya player out there. Just stick to yelling out the F slur every 5 seconds on Twitch. Medusa responds with, man, it's impossible to have a normal convo with you guys. Yeah, you're right, I just stick to N-word, my bad. Now, I do find that funny coming from Medusa, since we all know what he's been saying about people in his discords, and he came to a Tekken streamer's video to discredit them and said it's impossible to have normal discourse with you guys. Well, of course, if you open the discourse like that, then why would anybody? If you open the discourse with, this is why you're wrong, I play Kazuya, I know better, blah, 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 give us the reasoning, no one was going to say anything. But you came over here looking for smoke, and you've already been looking for smoke well before that. I mean, it's been on the channel multiple times. So why are you surprised with the response that you're getting? So apparently Fury said something about Medusa's sister being banged by some guy called Jamal. I don't know if Medusa has a sister. Once again, I'm not interested in bringing families into this, but Medusa obviously got bent out of shape about it. Someone said something to him and he said, oh yeah, someone saying that your sister is getting banged without you attacking him at all is totally normal, and for you guys, never mind then. Absolute brain damaged people. This person responds saying, that's like someone saying they're gonna bang your mum. It's literally elementary level banter. You are being outright racist. And then Medusa responds saying, no point, you guys are always the victim, we got it. Well, I mean, you're kind of playing the victim as well, Medusa. I mean, mean, let's be honest here. You said so much shit online that you need to understand that any post that you interact with that is outside of your community, people are going to react to you that way. You said so much shit online. So much. I mean, we did a 9-hour podcast, so you forget. We were going over the bullshit that you've been saying. Even if now, I'm going to be honest with you. Even if you show up to a post and you do all the things that I said and you actually offer some criticism of somebody's analysis of Kazuya, nobody wants to hear it now. It's already gotten to the point where nobody wants to hear anything you have to say outside of your community and the communities that are affiliated to you. The wider Tekken community, for all of our disagreements, none of them want to hear from you. So yeah, you might come to a post and think, "Bro, what?" I was like, "What did I say?" Like, you might genuinely say nothing. It's too late. You've crossed too many lines. And I know what you're going to say. I already know what you're going to say. "Oh, we don't care. We just do our thing. Nobody's going to stop us. We're unstoppable. Hookah lounge. Cool. That's fine. I'm just letting you know. Wherever you go online, as regards to Tekken, they know your name. You're famous now, right? For all the wrong reasons. If you come to interact with the posts, people are probably going to rip into you for it. They're probably not going to be racist like you. They're not going to talk about your ethnicity. I'm not going to talk about your ethnicity. I'm not going to talk about your religion, what you do, what you voted for. Like, that's all irrelevant. But I might say to you, why are you chatting to me? Like, what? Why are you here? It's like that kid at school that does loads of stupid shit and then comes over and wants to be your friend. It's like, just go over there, man. Just, if you do your thing over there, I guarantee you nobody's going to talk about you. Guarantee you. No one's going to talk about you because everyone's aware. And trust me, there are so many people that you might be unaware of, that you think you're cool with, that just don't want to say anything, that have messaged me and said, "Yo, bro, look at this, look at this, look at this," which I'm going to show some of it on this video, but we'll probably do a follow-up and a live stream to this later on because there's a lot to go over, that find you reprehensible. Now, again, I know what you're going to say. I don't care. I'm just letting you know. That's why you're getting these responses. You're allowed to say whatever you want to say, obviously within reason on YouTube and Kick or wherever you're streaming, but these are the responses you're going to get. You can't just say whatever you want and expect people to accept you. I don't think you're very welcomed. But, you know, you've got your own community, so if you stay over there, I promise you, no one's going to care about anything you're doing over there because no one generally cares about what you're doing. So we go back to Existzts now, and someone calls him out and says, "So you're a racist and trash player. Goddamn, smoked this guy's Kaz like a few days ago, sigh." And then Existzts says, "First to 10 him money match. If you are a man, I want to see who wins between you." Now, this is something that we're going to talk about in a little bit, which I find funny. Existzts seems to think that playing the game to a high level makes you a man, which tells me he isn't one. He must be very, very young to be saying stuff like that. Now, I did find this very, very funny. For all of the talk that Existzts did about his Kazuya on Tekken apparently being one of the best in the world, this is just a quick detour, just something to laugh at. My boy Zulu, who plays on my live streams very often, and you know, I'm no Tekken aficionado. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm super skilled on Tekken, or at least Tekken 8, but I've had very close games with Zulu. We've gone back and forth multiple times. I've beaten him, he's beaten me. He got the better of me on the most recent stream, but it was like down to the last hit. But Zulu's a very good player, but I don't know if he's good enough to beat one of the best Kazuyas in the world, and that is the claim that our good friend Existzts made. So let's review the match of one of the best Kazuya players in the world, shall we? Right, let's dive into it. Let's see what he's all about here. Now, like I said, I'm a mere Tekken god in Season 2. You know, I played for 1 hour, but I'm going to try and give you some advice here, Existzts, because this play by you is nothing short of shambolic. Now, as we can see here, my boy Zulu is absolutely giving him the work. We can see a lot of execution fumbles from Existzts. No surprises there. He is brain rotted and he gets absolutely spanked in the first round. We go into the second round now, and I'm not expecting much. Once again, they're just throwing buttons out, and Zulu is showing him the business. Doesn't really know what he's doing there. He's just backdashing, missing his electrics. Execution fumbles. He gets a punish, but becomes predictable and gets launched. You hate to see it. I mean, stupid and racial slurs on the timeline. Pick a struggle, bro. Gets launched. Look, this is your promotion match as well. Hey, listen, man. If I was sweating as hard as this and getting spanked like this, I would be upset. Look at this. Might as well be a perfect. I don't even know how he got any damage. And Zulu's basically just taking him out to the woodshed here. I know Zulu's not even trying because I've played Zulu, and this isn't even 50%. Gets hit with a launcher almost immediately. I know he's seething right now. He's probably going to Google Images looking for a picture of George Floyd or a gorilla. You know, his favorite pastime. Getting spanked again. Okay, now there's a little bit of life in him. He's upgraded himself to Super Racist 3. And he is going in now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's reading him. Well, he's reading him. Nice. Hey, he's going to close out the round here, surely. I mean, he's not going to fumble this one. He's got him on the ropes. Oh, of course he fumbles because racist comments on the timeline and shit at Tekken, mate. Pick a struggle. And as we can see here, Zulu absolutely packed him up. No promotion for you. Back to the abyss where you belong. Shout out to Zulu. Absolutely cooked this fraud. Best Kazuya in the world. Come on, man. Absolutely diabolical, mate. What a shame. I'm sure he'll be a God of Destruction Ouroboros in no time. And do we get a rematch? No! You get blocked for being a waste man. Hold that shit. You know he went absolutely ballistic when that happened. Now, Existzts is here making excuses, obviously. And making excuses is a little bit weird considering the character that you worship. Wasn't it your GOAT that said this? Yeah, so we don't want to hear excuses, okay? Turn up to the fight and fight, or take the L and go home. Saying, you think I was taking you serious? Yeah, I think during your promotion match, yeah, I think you were taking it seriously. I mean, you were trying to hit those god fists and failing, but I had monkey music in the background during my stream for you. If you really think you are better, come first to 10 €100 money match. This guy had monkey music playing in the background. I mean, he didn't know he was going to run into Zulu, so he just had monkey music. What is monkey music anyway? So obviously, you know, I had to chime in. I said I was expecting better from him since, you know, he doesn't do anything else other than play Tekken and say racist things on the timeline. So I was expecting better. He said, I challenge both of you to a first to 10 so I can dismantle you both in stream. Come if you have the balls to prove it. I read that. I was like, oh, okay. I replied with, and what would that prove exactly? That you're good at a game and nothing else? I'll accept your challenge since I don't care that much if you agree to come on my podcast and explain yourself in front of everyone. So I'm accepting this challenge. I'm accepting it. I'll play Tekken. I don't mind if I lose. I know you'll get upset if you lose, and judging on your performance there, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, you guys are not as good as you think you are. I am not good at Tekken 8. Yeah, let's just make that clear. I'm not good at it. You could even say I'm below mediocre. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Big Nose is one of your best players, and I spanked him on ranked. Sent that boy to the Shadow Realm. Now again, I'm not good at Tekken, so really no one in this scene should be losing to me. So I'll play, not a problem, I'll play, that's fine. So I don't need to explain anything to you, Swallow. Talk big and back it up. First, I need to embarrass this Zulu weirdo, finally winning a set in his life after losing 20 sets all his life and one and dunning this racist while I'm still using a new pad. More excuses. Now, first of all, that's the only time him and Zulu have played, and Zulu actually posted proof, and this guy just deflected because he's just lying. He's upset that he can't beat Zulu. I said to him, talk big. Yeah, I can, because I can get any of you on a live stream and rip you to shreds. You think winning a first to 10 against someone that plays Tekken 8 very casually makes you a big man? How old are you? Like I said, I'm happy to play the game if you can casually muster up the courage to yap on a live stream instead of always being a keyboard warrior. And look, I never claimed to be good at Tekken 8. I'm actually far from it. However, I did run into your friend Big Nose while he was streaming and beat him in a ranked set. So if your top dog's losing to someone that plays arena fighters a lot more, doesn't say much about any of you. He said, I sound like a politician by the way I talk. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult. I was always a casual but I cheesed Big Nose once in the first to 2. Always a but somewhere, but sure, first to 10 him and let's see the result. That would be good entertainment. Like I said, I will first to 10 all of you. If all of you come to my live stream and deal with the scrutiny that you're going to get. All of you. Because I don't care that much. But I know you guys care. If I beat you guys, if I even get halfway, you're going to be fuming. Absolutely fuming. But doesn't bother me at all. So I trolled him a little bit, you know, and again I accepted the challenge. He said, dodging of course like the little bitch you are, always like this with you people. Now I'm not dodging. I said I'll play. Happy to play. Not a problem. I don't care if it's streamed. I don't care if your whole community is watching and you keep posting that dumb emoji of me that gave me free promotion. Doesn't bother me. But if you want me to play, you got to jump on my podcast. I think that's fair. Tekken's your thing. Doing podcast is mine. Seems fair to me. Now, we go back and forth for a little bit. It's a little irrelevant. He says here, my Kazuya is one of the best in the world, but okay, keep coping. Obviously, Zulu laughed because that's not true. We just watched him. No Kazuya that's the best in the world is ever going to lose like that. Now, there was a lot of yapping on here. A lot. I'm not going to keep you guys for too much longer. But he did say that Zulu lost multiple times, and Zulu posted up receipts saying, no, actually we've only fought once and it was this time. So Existzts, listen dude, like you're pretty good at like posting racist shit online. You're pretty consistent with that. I would say however, you might want to step your game up in Tekken, because if people like me and Zulu are able to do things like this and rattle you, I mean Zulu destroyed you in that match. There was no fight in there at all. Then I think you need to step your game up. Now, what I'd say to Zulu, bro, if you're seeing this, if you want to do a first turn with him for some money, go ahead and do it. However, let him go through some parameters first. He needs to prove himself, right? It's like kind of like the WWE. You got to get to the back of the line. When he gets to God of Destruction Infinite or Ouroboros, then play with him. He's got to earn it, right? You spanked him. There's no need for you to play. You've already won. You're the champ. He said he was one of the best Kazuyas in the world. Don't look like it to me. All this glazing just for him to still be us. And Exist says he will dismantle all of you keyboard warriors. Hey, listen, Medusa, you got a soldier there. He's fighting your battles for you. I gotta respect that. Someone responds to Exist and says, that's funny, not you calling him a keyboard warrior while you're the one foaming at the mouth in every thread. You're not built like that, bro. All bark, zero bite. Sit down, you miserable slob, and shut the F up. Jeremiah says, who can't beat shitty Medusa? Lol, that's not an accomplishment. Exist says, play him and see what happens. And Medusa says, we can run money matches anytime, but the money has to be sent to a trusted source. I don't trust these N-words. Kale says you and Medusa should kiss, and Exist says keep your gay fantasies to yourself, F-slur. He then posts a picture of some black dude with a caption about his penis, which, I mean, listen, I've seen the stuff that you guys keep on the Discord, so I'm not entirely shocked by this. He responds to Fury saying, keep wearing that mask, you ugly chimpanzee. 1 gorilla versus 100 racist, y'all are sad. I have this much control over you because you're going to keep responding. You can't keep to yourself, loser. Shit, you right, N-word, you real gorillas, cuz I could care less about you apes from NA. Gotta be careful how you talk online, you know. There's a lot of like internet crackdown laws happening, and as far as I'm aware, these guys are in Germany and they're even more strict than the UK. I'm just saying, man, like, this is pretty reckless behavior, and I know some people think they're anonymous, but if you look into what's happening right now with H3 versus some creators on Twitch, even if you've got 0 followers and an anime profile picture, not actually anonymous, they can find out who you are and where you are. The companies, I'm not talking about Tekken players, I'm talking about actual companies can give up your information if people decide to pursue it. So I'm just saying, be careful when you're spouting bullshit online. Dance for me monkey and post a gif of monkeys dancing. Someone responds saying, aren't you the one dancing? You're so desperate for negative attention because it's all your parents gave you as a kid. Your mother raised a bitch and I hope she goes to her grave knowing that. Exist responds saying, okay, I don't know if I could say that. It's a slur for trans people, I believe. Go back to the bridge now. He says, my parents love me and also against F-slurs like you. I can say the N-word to my whole family, don't worry. So I'm watching all of this go down, and I made a post saying, you know, there is a serious problem with racism in this community. And when I say that, I mean it's targeted. I know racism exists everywhere. We went over that at the beginning of the video, but it's targeted. Always targeted, and it's mainly targeted at King J when it comes to these players. So I said that, and they sent out some of their weakest soldiers. One of them said to me, shut the F up, Mike Swallow. I do love that name. It's quite funny. Maybe make another 6 gorillion hour podcast, you worthless waste of space. Maybe I will. Actually, do you know what? On that, someone sent me a picture of Existzts chat, and it had my head cut out on a black man's body. This like overweight black dude. And I've got to say, Existzts, I didn't know that you wanted to be an unpaid intern for me. I didn't know that. But what I will say is that a couple of your people came over and messaged me after that was sent over to me. About I think 5 or 6 of them, which is where I got some information from that we'll be talking about at a later date. And they said to me, do you know what, we came over after we saw that and we're like, who is this guy? And they stayed in my stream chat. I don't think my stream chat was even aware there were people from yours, but I did notice there were some new people over there. So what I'm saying basically is thank you for the advertising. As a matter of fact, if you want to continue creating emojis for your Twitch, by all means, bro. I never thought I'd have an unpaid intern, but you know, you stepped up. I do appreciate the free advertising, so keep doing your thing. Now, like I said earlier, for some reason, these guys think that everything, I mean everything, is tied back to Israel and Jewish people. Medusa will see this video and he's gonna think that some Jewish person put me up to it. Let me read this post to you, which absolutely I burst out laughing. I had a big awakening about some blacks. Israeli modus operandi. They start insults involving family. You call them the N-word because that triggers them the most. I think maybe you've been online for too long. The people that you're saying it to, Medusa, are not actually getting triggered. Something is happening. I actually want to give you a word of advice. You're kind of being baited. My best advice to you, because again, I don't really want anything to happen to anyone, and laws can be pretty stringent on these things. You're kind of being baited here. Maybe you don't care. And it's not me doing it. I'm just a bystander in this, really. I don't like you, but I'm just reviewing the situation. These people are baiting you. I don't think they get as triggered as you might think, but I think you're going to get triggered if you don't stop doing it. They report the retaliation and cry racism. You make the rest of the black people that are normal look bad. Astonishing. Listen, mate. We don't need advice from you, okay? Trust me, you're the last person. This post absolutely killed me when I saw it. It says, the only thing we shouldn't accept in the Tekken community is Zionists. The rest is subject to personal opinions. Otherwise, leftists would cancel every rightist and vice versa. No one would remain. Let's keep it at Tekken, we can all be friends. The absolute brain rot. I can only imagine this. This has to be satire. It has to be. So they draw a line on what they find unacceptable, right? These people find Zionists and Zionism unacceptable, right? And that's their line. And they don't realize, or at least this person doesn't realize, that he's kind of just proven everyone's point. And the point that I was making is that everyone's line is different, and how people react to you is going to be different based on their values and what they find offensive. So they have their line as well. They have what they deem unacceptable. The thing here is that you can't tell people where to put that line for themselves. We can't all be friends if you're just saying whatever you want to say on the timeline. You can go and do one. Why would anybody want to be friends with somebody that is constantly attacking their race? And once again, to go back to what Asmongold is saying, I don't care if people are talking like this amongst their friends. I'm not there trying to tell people how to behave in private. That's up to you. But when you're targeting people with racial slurs, it's different. Words have weight, words have meaning. There is context behind all of these situations. They're not just mere words on a page or coming out of your mouth. You're saying them to be hurtful. So where it says, let's keep it at Tekken, we can all be friends, if that's your logic, then you're going to have to extend it to Zionism and to Zionists. If you draw the line somewhere, if you acknowledge that you have your own line, then don't tell other people where to draw the line. Everybody has their own lines. What an absolutely ridiculous post. So there's a post here from Big Nose and it reads, "Ah yes, then let's be angry and incite violence instead, especially when the individual didn't do anything to you at all. I don't know how the law in the UK works, but in Germany you can get interrogated for shit like this. Shut the F up and reflect on yourself." I'm glad you know how the law works in Germany, because there's a lot more they can interrogate you for. Now at the beginning of the video, I did say that I do not condone violence against these people, and I really don't. I don't condone violence against Medusa, Existzts, Big Nose, or any of the rest of them. I don't think we should go down that road. However, I also live in the real world, and I'm not in control of the Tekken community. I have no control over how adults behave, so as much as I might say something, at the end of the day, you guys are online doing things that wind people up. Like this, for example.
Let them talk shit. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Bro, racist, welcome, bro. Welcome. This is my channel. It's full of freaking racism. That's what it's fucking about. I support racism, dude. Stop deleting messages.
Get ready for the next battle.
Hey, oh my fucking god.
Now, I'm sure your stream loved that, and I'm not offended by it. Like, I don't want you guys to be like, oh, look, he's I'm not offended. I promise you, you don't have the minerals to offend me, so we'll just get that straight. But I'm not everybody. Some people might find that offensive. I mean, there's very clear and obvious reasons why. And if you look at that in an isolated incident, then you might be like, oh, that's a bit of an overreaction to call for violence. And that's not even necessarily what they're calling for violence over. It's the stacking of it. It's not one thing, it's 100 things, where people have gotten to the point where these people have sickened them that their only response is a primal response. Now again, I'm not co-signing that. It's not something I would do. If I saw these people in person, I'd walk right past them. They're not worth that kind of energy. But you also need to remember what world you live in. Welcome to the real world. Play stupid games, you might win a stupid prize. Now, we've seen situations in this community where bullying can really go sideways. I mean, people's lives are affected by it. And these guys are harassing and trying to bully King J. Now, they make this baseless accusation that King J's subscribers have been purchased, that his views on Twitch have been bought or botted, and they never have any proof. There's no proof. Now, there is actually a way to prove when people are doing this, or at least get as close to the proof as possible, but the only thing they are capable of doing is going on Social Blade and making assumptions. Now, these claims were levied against me. I'm sure you guys remember that come to the channel. There was about 3 months where I was being accused of buying subscribers because I had a massive spike and then it sort of like slowed down. And of course, I went on live stream and I said, prove it. Now, they have no proof. And they know they have no proof, and they're making a baseless accusation. Some of them don't have a following, so they don't even understand how metrics work. They don't understand how influxes work, and they don't understand that month to month things change drastically. Year to year things change drastically, even based on the content you're doing. Now, to me, what it comes across as is jealousy. They're jealous that King J hit the 100k. They're jealous that he's got like 70 or 80k on Twitch. They're jealous that he has all of these partnerships with all of these different brands. They're jealous that he goes and gets to play these new games before they come out, and they're frustrated that they can't get to him. And so what they do, instead of just, you know, acting like adults and moving on with their lives, they continuously target him. If you don't believe me, you can just take a look at this. There is an endless stream of them just putting his face on random black people, felons or otherwise, sometimes dead, and taking the piss out of him, accusing him of view botting. They have been going out of their way to make AI slop of him in the discords. They show up to posts of somebody they supposedly don't like, likely because they can't build their own following, they don't know what to do with their times, and if their fearless leaders are not online streaming, then all they can do is bother somebody. Now, there are plenty of people, like I've said, where if this was done to them, they either would come off of the internet completely because they couldn't deal with it, or worse. And I'm not making a stretch when I say that. We've heard this happen before. And it's only after something really bad happens is when people speak up. Now, just because King J or anybody else they decide to go after have a backbone does not excuse what they're doing. These guys are bullying and harassing. I understand. You're jealous. You saw King J at the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn fight playing in front of the world, in front of 70,000 people, and you got jealous. You saw him hit 100k and you got upset. But I promise you guys, I promise all of you, if you guys mind your own business and stay over there, nobody's going to bother you. Because unless you're doing your harassment campaigns or your AI slop, nobody even remembers you. Nobody worth their salt is bringing you into conversations. Doesn't matter how good you are at Kazuya, doesn't matter how long you've been playing the game, no one cares. The only time you're ever mentioned is when you're being racist. That's it. That's your claim to fame in the Tekken community. And for as much as we might disagree, and there's plenty of people that disagree with me, almost everybody unanimously agrees that you guys are parasites. You are parasites in this community, and you are making the whole thing a shit show. You drag every conversation into a conversation about apes, police shootings, and statistics. We're talking about a fucking video game. We might be critiquing your character, you bring racism into it, which, you know, really shows your level of intelligence. Now, I know, and everybody else knows, that you guys are keyboard warriors. You're not going to walk up to anybody and say anything to them. You're certainly not going to walk up to Jay or Fury or any of these guys that you keep on attacking in person and chat shit. We both know that. And B, you wouldn't even show up to a live stream to argue anything. All you do is troll. But like I said, it's kind of been free advertising for myself when you've done it for me and for Jay actually. So if you want to continue doing it, if you want to continue going down this road, by all means, I'm not going to report you. Like I said, got a little influx of subscribers when Existzts pulled that little stunt. And you know what I find funny about these guys? They always try to lump themselves in with people that are actually doing good things in the community, people that are creating content and exposing people to safeguard the community, essentially safeguard children. They always try to lump themselves in with Technicals, and Technicals is at the center of a lot of controversy because he deals with a lot of controversial topics, but he's doing it from a place of protecting people. He is outing people that are doing nasty things. Now, I know he's a comedian himself, and when he presents it, it's in a very comedic light, but the underlying message in all of it is that these are bad things that are happening and we need to speak about them. You guys ain't that. None of you are that. You're not in that boat. You say racist shit online, then you get surprised when people get mad at you. Like, what planet are you living on? Are you 5 years old? Of course people are gonna think that you're racist. Of course people are gonna think that you are in favor of a particular regime when you post about them constantly. When they're all over your Discord, what do you think? If I was constantly on my Twitter reposting gooner content, you would think this guy's a bit of a gooner. He probably goons constantly all day. If you saw somebody on Twitter constantly posting about golf or Formula 1, you're going to think, oh, they're a golf or they're a Formula 1 fan. So if we constantly see you posting about that stuff, then we're going to think that. What do you think? People attack your ideas and they call you names. But more specifically, your ideas are always called into question. They're always called into question. And instead of like defending your ideas or fighting back with other ideas, you just call people racist names and you're surprised when people say, oh, I think they're racist. Now look, the video is already long enough. There's so much stuff to go over here. There's so much to talk about. One of my favorite insults from these guys is that I have rent due, so I'm going to now make a video or do a podcast. And I'm like, well, stop giving me content then. I don't know if you realized, I don't know if you forgot where you guys are, but this is YouTube where we post content. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but the content that I post is around situations, drama, if you will, that happen in the fighting game community and other communities. So if you're creating drama in the community, yes, you're helping me pay my rent, dummy. What do you think? You're giving me layups. They're saying it like it's an insult. Yes, I post content on a website that requires you to post content. Well done. Now, to close off the video, I'm going to say once again, yes, these guys are a bit weird. You might even say ill, but I don't think they deserve to be doxxed because at the end of the day, they have families, okay? So don't do those things. Not worth it, especially if you live in countries that punish that shit heavily because that shit is being treated extremely seriously and you're not anonymous. I promise you guys, don't go down that road. Don't stoop to their level. Don't call for violence. I understand, trust me. I get it. I live in the real world. I understand how human emotion works. They're trying to get a rise out of you. The best thing that you can do with these guys is farm them for content. Farm them for content. Whether that's content on Twitter or content on YouTube, farm them. They want to say dumb shit. These platforms allow us to monetize these things. Farm them. Get them to pay for your petrol. You want to take a girl on a nice date, maybe you're running a little bit low, farm them. It's an endless treasure trove of content, but don't stoop to their levels. There's ways to deal with people like this, and it's not difficult. They think that they're triggering everyone, but really we're just laughing at them. So that's my advice to you guys. Now, like I said, there's a lot. If you've been on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot that I left out of this video, but you know, like I said, I'm going to farm them for content. So we're going to talk about that at another date, probably a live stream, probably have my co-host here, and we'll have a good time with it. Don't let people like this get under your skin. I mean, one of them thinks that everything is an operation from Mossad, and the other one thinks that you're a big man if you go on Tekken and beat them in the first to 10. So we're not dealing with their best here. We're not dealing with their best. They ain't sending their best. So don't let them get under your skin. Like I said, make some money on them, build your Twitter following off them. They want to act like clowns, then we can parade them around.
So